You may be wondering where the Fallout content has been. Well, here it is now, but I haven't been making it due to me wanting to play all of the Fallout games to better understand it, to better make memes, reviews, that sort of thing. And I do still have the script for my little retrospective on Fallout New Vegas that I promise I will do. But at some point I was hit so fucking hard by a bad Fallout game, a very bad Fallout game, that I had to clear that shit from my mind. And since then, I've kind of struggled to get back into the whole Fallout, you know, mentality. It doesn't help that I was being sued by an obese fat fuck who recently tried to restart the lawsuits. But what was so bad, so unbelievably terrible that made me not want to play Fallout for a good bit of time? Well, it's Fallout 4. People want to talk about how bad 76 is. Oh my god, 76, you know, all those bad missions, the filler, it's not really even an RPG or a survival game. All true statements, don't get me wrong. But Fallout 4 hurt my fucking soul. I would re-download Fallout 4 footage for this video, but I can't be asked. That's how fucked it is. But why do I hate Fallout 4 so much? Well, I can't give you a full in-depth understanding of why I hate it so much without going Kretosis mode for 7 hours. But I can give you an idea, and I hope that that's enough, and I can also use this video to hype up the fact that I'm going to be making Fallout New Vegas 3 and maybe even Fallout 2 videos in January. Hoo-hoo. But Fallout 4 hurt me. You see, let's start with the most obvious part of all of it, the fucking story. You can have one of the best functioning role-playing games in the fucking world, but if the story's bad, you are far past fucked. In all other Fallout games, the story has been crucial. And you know, you can make jokes about it. You can make the apocalypse more lighthearted. Fallout 2 certainly does that. Everywhere you go, there's some sort of reference to something cultural or maybe a fucking joke that may be hidden away or right in your face. Such as this secret organization of people in metal armor who are going around killing everybody, and their sergeant just screams at you and calls you a maggot. But that works because it's not constant, and even when it is more frequent, you still understand the sort of world you're in. You feel as if there was actually a fucking apocalypse and things are dire. In fucking Fallout 4, it feels like I'm in a fucking amusement park with enemies that are in locations that just make no sense because we have to spawn some enemies, and a story in which a human that lived a pretty privileged, pretty good life before the war is suddenly transported into the apocalypse and can tank all of it because fuck it, where's my son? And you do this alongside a robot that's just gonna drop all previous things it's doing to help you out specifically. You walk around in this world that was supposedly hit by apocalypse and is totally still lawless, despite the fact that whenever you enter a normal settlement or an average settlement, it's just fine. It's been 210 years since the war, the big nuclear war, where the N-word was dropped. Yet the only fucking communities that have been established are these small fucking places in either the middle of fucking nowhere, or maybe one very small section of a city. It's so dangerous to go anywhere. Oh my god, it's a post-apocalyptic world. It's so dangerous to go anywhere. We don't have the resources or supplies, and within a 5-minute walking distance, there's a facility with a fusion core, a shitload of guns scattered everywhere, and some fucking robots. Supplies are so scarce, but within 5 minutes of you walking out of hibernation, you just find a bit of power armor behind a locked door on top of a building. And there's this fucking evil institute which has figured out teleportation, but haven't figured out how to stop their own robots from going rogue. So they have to make even more robots to go kill the robots that are going rogue. But despite all that, they have the resources to keep making this fucked up technology and cloning, while the people above ground don't get anything to eat and have to struggle to survive. But the guys with an army of robots with death lasers is somehow beat by some dudes cosplaying as fucking Americans from the 1700s using fucking pipe rifles. And the less said about the Brotherhood of Steel, the better. Honestly, I would replay Fallout 4 if I was forced to, just to beat up the fucking Brotherhood of Steel. But before we get to the Brotherhood of Steel, again, I'm just doing this in an unscripted manner just because I want to rant for a bit. But before we get to the Brotherhood of Steel, I'd just like to remind you that the fucking Institute, they have so much technology, so much of it, Just so much technology. And their head chief, which happens to be your son, he just dies from cancer. That's right, the guys who can create fucking people couldn't figure out how to stop cancer at an early stage. They can invent fucking teleportation, but can't figure out how to mitigate the effects of cancer. And don't forget, he's your son. Yeah, the fucking baby that was kidnapped just ended up being the leader of the Institute, because fuck it. And the Brotherhood of Steel. The fucking Brotherhood of Steel. The whole point of the Brotherhood of Steel in Fallout 3 was that they were trying to be the good guys, though they sucked at it. But the Brotherhood of Steel is here, yippee! How did they get here? On a fucking blimp. Okay, why a blimp? Oh, they dismantled an aircraft carrier to make a blimp. In case you don't know, one of the reasons blimps were so useful once upon a time is because they could climb to altitudes that planes and regular bullets and shells could not. Meaning that intercepting them would be a fucking nightmare and you'd just be helpless while they bombed your city. Yeah, okay, that's neat. Kinda fucking difficult to convince me of that when you had to dismantle an aircraft carrier to make this heavily armored blimp in a world where people have fucking laser weapons and fucking vertibirds. So the entire premise of them being there is dumb just on the fucking aspect of how they got there. There's also an Enclave member in there because in the Fallout 4 game, because fuck it, why not? And you know, I'm actually far more willing to believe that an Enclave member would be able to get there instead of the Brotherhood of Steel with a fucking blimp with parts taken from a carrier. Elder Maxson leads the Brotherhood of Steel. That he does. And Maxson is the guy that, or rather, the kid that you met in Fallout 3, who was sent there from the West Coast because fuck it. The kid looked to be 10 years old at most in Fallout 3, and Fallout 4 takes place 10 years after Fallout 3, yet he looks like this. There are soldiers in the armed forces of my country who look like fucking babies and are nearly twice the age of Arthur Maxson, but yeah, sure, he just looks 40 while he's supposed to be 20 at most. And why is he there? Plot convenience. And what is his motivation? He really hates synths. Why does he hate them? Well, they're not real humans, so they can only be bad. So what happens when one of the fucking BOS members turns out to be a synth? Doesn't matter that he's one of the best soldiers you have. No, what happens? No, you want to fucking kill him. Okay. Yeah, just because he's a fucking synth. And you want to tell me that Arthur Maxson is supposed to be this pragmatic, very calculating guy that is willing to get rid of one of his best. Not because he betrayed him or anything, but just because synth. Yes, we know Paladin Dance has been so useful that he can basically solo entire missions, and has been so damn loyal to the Brotherhood of Steel cause that it makes people not even take him fucking seriously, and by people I mean the player. No, we need to kill him because synth. Yeah, pragmatic my ass. Go fuck yourself. You can't do the same thing you did with ghouls and mutants, because in the ghoul and mutant case, it makes sense, because they could turn on you or go feral at any given time. Since, if they're specifically not under the control of the Institute, which Dance is very fucking clearly not, can be the most useful motherfuckers on the planet. But you know, if you still have fun playing it, if you're having fun, then what matters if what the things they're saying or what you're doing is stupid, as long as you're having fun, right? And that's a very good argument, and I will actually be responding to your argument right after you go over there and collect me 4 pieces of trash. Okay, have you gotten them yet? Well, thank you. Alright. Now we can properly address your argument. I think that your argument is... wait, what's that? Oh, okay. Please go here and kill, like, 3 mutants and then find my cat. Okay, there we go. Now we can get to my response to your argument. Well, my answers to your argument can be 1 of 4. And the first one is yes. The second one is yes. The third one is also yes, but in a slightly different tone, like in a different accent. I'll do a Chinese accent while saying it. And the last one is no. And if I say no, it actually is because I mean yes. And that's the essence of a real RPG, so say the fanboys. But if you're having fun, who the fuck cares what the story is? If it's fun, fuck it, who cares, right? And Fallout 4 must be fun, right? You know, I hear a lot of people talking about how much better the gunplay is in Fallout 4. And while it is objectively more refined than in the previous games, I fucking hate it. I had more fun fighting with the busted-ass fucking guns of Fallout 3, or the hatchets in Fallout 3, and the machetes and knives and shit in Fallout 3, and infinitely far more fun in the gunplay in Fallout New Vegas than I ever did in combat or with the gunplay in 4. But how? How does that happen? Isn't it more refined? Isn't it smoother? Aren't you actually feeling the weight behind the weapons? Oh yes, the weight that each weapon has, and the punch, you know, that each weapon has. Alright, so I'm gonna need you to specify something here. Do we mean the weight of this pipe rifle or the weight of that identical pipe rifle? Which one are you referring to? Because you see, most weapons in the game are outright unsatisfying to use, whether they're rifles, pistols, shotguns. Unless you're using a laser rifle or a fucking minigun or something, the guns just feel like fucking garbage to use. They're boring, they're lame. I'm sick of finding the same fucking pipe pistol or pipe rifle. It's been 210 fucking years since the apocalypse. Are you telling me that people haven't figured out how to make a basic Mosin Nagant or a basic double-barreled shotgun? Some people can make their own fucking power armor, and you're telling me that people can't figure out how to make a basic gun that isn't made out of pipes? But Emily, we're talking about the actual combat, not the lack of variety in weapons. We're talking about that. I don't enjoy fighting fucking bullet sponges. I hate fighting bullet sponges. In case you don't know, the enemies scale as you level up. It's called level scaling. Meaning that when you level up, if you did not put a point into, say, how good you are with a gun, you are actively getting weaker as you level up. Because as you level up, the more armor an enemy has, the more health an enemy has. And I'm fucking sick of it. Let's compare this with Fallout New Vegas, for example. In Fallout New Vegas, you knew that it is practically suicide to go after a Deathclaw or a big fucking enemy at an early level. But in Fallout 4, because the enemies scale to your level, what ends up happening is that you are actually able to kill terrifying enemies, or supposedly terrifying enemies, right from the start, with relative ease. In Fallout New Vegas, it's always going to be difficult. Even at the highest level in Fallout New Vegas, it is still difficult to kill 1 or 2 Deathclaws. You still feel threatened. You're still threatened by the presence of those Deathclaws. In Fallout 4, as long as you keep your fucking distance, or you know how to play a fucking game, you can tank basically anybody. And, as you start leveling up, if you're not putting points into your fighting capability, what's gonna end up happening is that you're just gonna keep sponging away at the fucking enemy. You're just gonna keep shooting them, and they're not gonna fucking die because they're scaled to your level. Or, if you've been balancing them out properly, you are not going to feel like you improved anything at all. Because once again, the enemy scaled to your level. In Fallout New Vegas, if you find a scorpion at an early level, which you do, it's gonna be a struggle. It's gonna be a bit tricky, you know? In Fallout 4, if you had a fight in level 2, and then had to fight that exact same enemy at level 20, the fight is going to go practically the same. Moreover, because so many of the guns feel practically the same, it nullifies how refined the combat is, because no matter what weapon you're using, it's basically the same thing as that other one you had. But don't worry guys, it's totally different. This, pipe rifle is definitely worse than the mighty pipe rifle, isn't it? Yeah, don't worry guys, they're totally different. Or wait, this pipe pistol has a star next to it. Ooh, it must be really good and a rare find. It's just so fucking boring, and honestly, the lack of choice in this game, the boring combat, the boring enemies, the trash story, and the fucking just world I could not take seriously. I could not bring myself to actually finish Fallout 4. Because of the fucking quests as well. A lot of the quests are just fetch quests, and the less said about the railroad, the better. A lot of the quests are just go here, get this, go there, kill this. In Fallout New Vegas, you had to actually think. You actually had to consider the fact that you may need to persuade a character, or steal, or have good sneak. In Fallout 4, it's just walk in a straight fucking line, or follow the red fucking path on the floor, and do something simple. Rinse and repeat until you get a copy-pasted ending. Endings which I can't bring myself to go fucking get, or see, or whatever. Even Fallout 3, even in fucking Fallout 3, a lot of people talk mad shit about Fallout 3, and I understand that it's an objectively bad game, but I could still feel myself somewhat immersed in it. And Fallout New Vegas, I can easily get immersed into the game. Fallout 4, I was bitching out loud the entire time I was playing it. Fallout 3, story made no sense, gunplay was kinda trash, but shit, I could just use VATS and find all of these cool different places. Some I would like, some I would hate, but still, it was fun to walk around and see all the different places. See this Washington, D.C. after a nuclear strike. Fallout New Vegas, fun! You can go anywhere, and there's gonna be something there. It's gonna be interesting. There's gonna be cool characters that you interact with, that you have to find out their stories, or can just find out if you feel like it. Or fight some enemies with an okay gun system. Or roleplay as whatever the fuck you want. But Fallout 4? You can't roleplay as anything other than someone concerned for a baby. The quests are shit, a lot of the characters are shit, you can't even if you could roleplay as someone that isn't just worried about their baby. There's no real interesting dialogue because all you can say is a different version of yes. Fighting the enemies is a pain, a lot of the locations aren't interesting, and even if they were, it's kind of difficult to be actually enjoying something you're doing when your game just went from 110 FPS to 10 because this game is optimized like complete garbage. So yeah, that's why I can't play Fallout 4. I refuse to replay Fallout 4. Maybe, if you pay me, I will. But I can't bring myself to that. And that's one of the reasons why I haven't been doing Fallout content. It's just because Fallout 4 killed me. It really did kill me on the inside. Because I didn't realize that this was the direction that the franchise I had loved was going. And you know, the fucking Fallout 76, you know, it's a fucking online game. It's gonna fuck up the lore, but the mainline story games, like the actual single player experiences, that's what hit me. At least you can disconnect yourself somewhat from Fallout in Fallout 76, from the actual Fallout story in Fallout 76. Can you do that in Fallout 4? No, not really, because they keep, you know, referencing different things as if you actually care. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, thank you guys for rating. Fuck Fallout 4, honestly, and I'll see you all in the next one.